That's facts, dude. Hey, you talked about how you have to be careful inviting people to certain events and things like that. Let's talk about the 95 Source Awards. I was just watching some stuff. I believe it's been like the whatever their 20 something anniversary of that, 28th or whatever. But I know you were on the sidelines at that time. You were doing your club thing, but what do you remember when that whole thing was going down? The infamous, they were, for anyone who doesn't remember, they were in New York, and the West Coast had it popping in 1995. Everything coming out of the West Coast was fire. Above the Rim soundtrack won. I mean, Snoop's album, everything coming out of the West Coast. So they go to New York, and a lot of stuff went down, so much so that every time a West Coast artist got on stage, they would get booed. And Snoop Dogg made an infamous speech. Y'all don't love the West Coast. Y'all ain't gotta love the West Coast. We in the East Coast and the motherfucker, So, and then Suge got up there and said his infamous speech, you don't want to have people all in the videos, come to death row. But when you saw that going down, Lonzo, and maybe even knew some players, because interviewing a lot of hip hop artists in my time in the past few years, I knew a lot of people that were there. R.I.P. to Badass. AMG was there from DJ Quick's camp. He shared a story on my show. But what do you remember from the sidelines about the 95 Source Awards?
It made my asshole tighten up. Shit, these motherfuckers, it's crazy. Okay, because first of all, you on somebody else's home turf talking shit. I was listening to an interview that Quick did, and one that Fat Joe did. And like, man, I'm cool with these dudes, but damn, I'm still home. I got, you created a lot of conflict, man. That's a lot of. Now you got to leave here, go to the airport, go to the hotel, get your shit, and try to get to the airport. And you ever been in New York?
I have. It's not easy to get around.
Shit don't move fast in New York, man. Shit don't move fast in New York at all. Okay, so what nobody was thinking. That was all the emotion right there. That was all the emotion, and that's what happens when you put emotion and guns together. Somebody gonna get hurt, and that was a very volatile situation. That Snoop was trying. He kind of diffused it, but he still
tried to, but he still was a little gangster with it.
So yeah, Doc, it was not a good time, man.
Yeah, I, as a hip hop lover at that time, yeah, it wasn't. And looking back in hindsight, it was horrible. But as a lover of hip hop at that time, I had my popcorn. I was like, oh, this shit is fucking great. And then obviously, sadly, Pac and Biggie died literally shortly just after that. Yeah. Speaking of that, Lonzo, September 13th, which is like in 2 days.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh shit, that's the anniversary when Pac died, 1996. Man, 27 years, if my math is correct. 27 years ago, Lonzo. Let's break it down. We talk about it once a year. Why not talk about it right now? 27 years ago, Pac died. What were your initial thoughts?
Tupac had already been shot before. He'd been in prison for a minute. And I figured, damn, they still shooting at people. What the fuck? And I figured he was gonna recover from the shit. Me and Adrian hadn't been talking at that time. And I didn't really, I was sad like everybody else. But I think I was more pissed off from the after effect, because so many people was talking that we need to stop being all this violence, stop this violence, stop doing all this gangster stuff, blah, 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 blah. And as soon as they buried that brother, they went right back to the bullshit. Right back to like ain't nothing happened. And it's amazing to me how many people don't learn from other people's mistakes. This is probably the slowest year we've had for deaths in hip hop. Think about this, man. Remember last year, though?
Oh, we were talking about it every other week. We were talking about a new rapper dying.
3 times in a month, we were talking about somebody getting smoked in the hip hop game. Now I think this is probably the slowest year compared to last year.
You're right about that.
It's been very slow. Damn. I'm glad for that. That's a good thing to say. But we also talk about people not making the money they used to make either. We're also talking about people not making the money. The concerts ain't selling tickets like they used to. And this is something that people are going to have to realize at some point in time. The venues and the promoters are going to stop fucking with bullshit people. I just did a seminar Saturday at Compton College, and they asked me to speak. And one of the things I wanted to stress, that the more, you know, we can do the Spotify this and this right here on YouTube. But if your music is booty, I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care what you do. It's booty. Okay? This shit is whack. And until somebody actually start making some real music, but here's your problem with the real music potential. Who in the hell wants to hire a studio engineer, spend, I don't know, $10, $15, $20,000 on a project to get 100 spins and get a penny? Who wants to hire real musicians at potential union rates to get pennies on a? That's why a lot of you big boys don't make music like that, because it's not economically feasible. It's only economically feasible for those who have big followings and those who don't mind eating the crumbs. If anybody should be joining the fucking strike, should be musicians, should be out there right along with the goddamn writers and the writers and actors, because they did it to y'all first. They did it to us first, I should say. They ganked us first, but because the generation that's there now is doing everything computer generated, and whatever they get, they're happy to get. Okay, but when you got grown people to feed at the pad, and you've been used to getting money, real money, for a long period of time, all of a sudden this streaming shit comes along, and all of a sudden you got 4 or 5 new billionaires, but everybody else starving. That's bullshit. You got Spotify charge $10.95 a month, a subscription. They making billions. They got stockholders, the whole 9 yards, and the artists ain't getting shit. So you providing content, they getting the $10.95 plus commercials. And you still providing content and getting 79 spins for a penny. Man, that's slavery. That's fucking slavery.
Man. Yeah, man. Breaking it down. Let's see. Yeah, R.I.P. to Tupac. What's your favorite Pac song, Lonzo?
You Can't See Me.
Oh, okay. Yes, we've talked about that's your phone. That used to be your phone thing.
That's my my alarm from. It used to be my phone ringtone, but I'd be in a business meeting.
That's right.
Tupac come over like this nigga. I had to change that shit.
George Clinton is on that song,
yes.
Right? That's him opening up.
Yep.
Tell me about George Clinton. I don't think we've ever talked about him. Well, back in the 70s, you know, when you're coming up, tell us about George Clinton back then.
Man, George Clinton was a man. George Clinton started off doing in a doo-wop group